Dust curled behind the hooves of Levi Carson's horse as he rode toward the Comanche borderlands. He wasn't just any cowboy. He was a man with a history, a shadowy past that followed him like a rattler in the grass. After years of gunslinging for cattle barons and surviving border skirmishes, Levi now sought peace, or something close to it. He arrived at the trading post near the Red River, hoping to barter furs and maybe seek work. But what he hadn't expected was her, Ayoka. She stood across the campfire that night, her dark hair braided with beads, her chin held high like royalty. She was the daughter of Chief Takoda, and unlike any woman Levi had ever seen, eyes sharp with wisdom, lips unspeaking yet full of secrets. Their first conversation came in silence, just glances, gestures, and that intense stillness. Levi didn't know it then, but that one look had sealed his fate. Word got around fast. A cowboy, white, foreign, wild, showing interest in the chief's daughter. It stirred tension. Some young braves took offense. Others watched with quiet resentment. Chief Takoda, weathered and proud, observed Levi from afar for days. Then came the challenge. "If you wish to court my daughter," the chief declared one evening before the entire tribe, "you must prove your heart belongs to this land. Trade your most prized possession, your horse." Levi's horse wasn't just an animal. It had saved his life more than once, crossed desert, gunfire, and storm. But the moment he looked at Ayoka, standing beside her father with her eyes lowered, he knew the price was worth it. He handed over the reins. That night under the full moon, a sacred ceremony was held. Dressed in borrowed tribal garb, Levi stood with Ayoka. The tribe watched in silence. Drums throbbed like the pulse of the earth. Words in Comanche were spoken, and just like that, the cowboy became a husband. But peace never lingers long in the West. 3 nights after their union, while Levi lay beside his new bride in a woven tent, word came. A band of outlaws had raided the outskirts of the territory, burned 2 Comanche camps, and taken prisoners. Levi stood to ride, but his horse was gone, taken, traded. He borrowed another and led a small group of braves. His old instincts returned, rifle aimed, eyes scanning every ridge. When they caught the trail, it led them into a canyon where shadows moved faster than the wind. Ambush. Levi fought like the devil was on his back, shot one, then another. But the outlaws had numbers. A bullet grazed his shoulder. One brave fell beside him. The others retreated. Back at the camp, the wounds were deep, physically and emotionally. Some blamed Levi, said it was bad luck to bring a white man into Comanche blood. The whispers grew. And yet, Ayoka stayed by his side. She cleaned his wounds, fed him herbs, spoke little but stayed close. But Levi sensed it. He was no longer just a cowboy. He was now the outsider with everything to prove and everything to lose. One day, while recovering by the river, he heard voices, low, sharp, hidden. He moved closer and saw Ayoka, speaking with another man, not just a brave. He was Takoda's nephew, a warrior, strong and bitter. Their words were in Comanche, but the body language said enough. The man touched Ayoka's arm. She pulled away. Levi turned before they saw him. His chest ached, not from the wound, but from doubt. That night under the stars he asked her, "Do you regret marrying me?" She looked at him, then whispered, "Do you regret giving up your horse?" He said nothing. The days turned colder. The tension in the village thickened. Levi worked harder, building, hunting, defending, but the looks never faded. He knew war was coming, not just with outlaws, but within the very tribe he had married into. And then Chief Dakota fell ill. Without his steady hand, the tribe split. Some followed his brother, others supported Dakota's daughter and her white husband. Division grew. Then one morning, the warrior Dakota's nephew challenged Levi. Not with guns, with knives. In the center of the village, surrounded by a silent crowd, they faced off. Levi had fought men before, but never like this. Bare hands, sharpened blades, raw fury. The fight was brutal. Blood splashed into the dirt, ribs cracked. But in the end, Levi stood over the warrior, blade to his throat. He dropped it, walked away. He could win the fight, but not the war. As he left the circle, Ahyoka stood there, crying. Not for him, for the warrior. And Levi finally understood. She had never wanted him. He had been a trade, a pawn in something deeper. He had given up his horse for a woman who belonged to the land, not to him. And yet, as he walked into the hills alone, he did not regret it. Because love, even unreturned, had made him something more than a gunslinger. It had made him a man. He didn't look back. The Comanche village faded behind the hills as Levi walked into the wind, each step heavier than the last. His shirt still bore the dried blood of the fight, and his heart carried a deeper wound. Days turned into weeks. Levi wandered from town to town, earning his keep breaking horses and fixing fences. But no matter how far he rode, Ahyoka's face haunted his nights. He kept telling himself she wasn't his. She never had been. Then one afternoon in a dusty border town, he saw a poster nailed to a saloon door. Wanted, raiders of the Comanche stronghold, 2,000 reward. Below it, sketched in crude charcoal, were the faces of the outlaws that had attacked Dakota's people, the same men Levi had faced in the canyon. Rage stirred. He hadn't saved the tribe. He hadn't protected her. But maybe he could do something now. Levi rode east, tracking the whispers of those bandits, through miners, gamblers, and one drunken preacher who pointed toward a ghost town near the canyon edge. When he arrived, the place was quiet, too quiet. He crept into the saloon, rifle in hand, and found her, Ahyoka, sitting across from one of the outlaws, her wrists bound. Her eyes met his, wide, tear-streaked. Not surprised, like she expected him. Gunfire broke the silence. Levi dove, rolled, returned fire. The outlaw fell. Two more emerged from upstairs. Chaos exploded. Bottles shattered. Levi fought like a man possessed. A knife sliced his side, but he shot the attacker point blank. Then silence. He freed Ahyoka, hands shaking. Why are you here? She looked at him with wet eyes. They took me after you left. Said it was revenge. Said you made me weak. Levi clenched his fists. The rage he'd tried to bury flooded back. They escaped into the night, camped beneath the stars like they once had. Ahyoka tended his wounds again, but this time her touch was different, softer, real. I was wrong, she whispered. About you, about everything. Levi didn't reply. He just watched the stars flicker above. They returned to the Comanche village days later. Chief Dakota had died. The tribe was broken, divided, leaderless. But when they saw Levi bring Ahyoka back, alive, safe, something shifted. The same warriors who had once scorned him now nodded in respect. Levi didn't speak. He just helped rebuild. One wall, one fire, one broken family at a time. And Ahyoka. This time she stood beside him by choice. He hadn't just paid for love with his horse. He had paid with blood, heartbreak, and redemption. And in the wild lands where death rode faster than the wind, that was the only price that truly mattered.